Today I wanted to take a minute to talk about prepping versus simple living. And what got me to thinking about this was that I just got my deer tags in the mail for this coming deer season. That means deer season's going to be here before we know it, which means winter's going to be here before we know it. And there's a lot of things I think I should probably be doing right now to prepare for winter this year. Let's face it, it's been a crazy year. With all that's going on right now, I don't have any reason to think this isn't going to be a crazy winter. With all the corona stuff, possible, that coming back in the wintertime. We don't know what's going to happen with schools. All the protests, unrest, rioting, whatever you want to call it. This might be a very interesting winter. All right. With that said, though, there's some things I'm pretty sure that are going to happen that I want to kind of be prepared for. With that said, though, I'm not a prepper. I'm all about simple living. And in a lot of ways, simple living is the complete opposite of prepping. That doesn't mean I don't believe in being prepared, though. And there's also a lot of overlap between prepping and simple living. So I thought it'd be good today just to take a minute to talk about the difference between the two, clarify the difference, and then talk about, some things I'm planning on doing ahead of time this year and some things you might want to consider as well. Okay, prepping, simple living. And keep in mind, there's no written rules that, to be a prepper, you have to do this, and to be into simple living, you have to do this. There's no rules here, okay? And your version of prepping might be entirely different than somebody else's, same for simple living, okay? These are vague concepts, all right? And when I talk about the difference between the two, I'm telling you my vague concept of each. Okay, prepping. Prepping's about material things. We've all heard the term 2 is 1, 1 is none, all right? Or most of us have. It's a big thing in prepping circles. And the theory is something could break, and if you had 2 of something, something could break, then you're down to 1. If you only have 1 of something and it breaks, then you have none. So to be prepared, you need as many as possible. All right, on the opposite extreme, simple living. A lot of people that are into simple living are also into minimalism, which is having as few things as possible. Or not as possible, but not having any more than you need. Okay? And personally, I'm a minimalist. You wouldn't guess it looking at my shop right now, but I don't believe in having more than you need. Good example is this old fillet knife right here. All right. I don't need 2 fillet knives. I don't need 3. I don't need 10. I need one good one. I need it to last. I need to know where it's at. I need to be able to find it, and I need it to be sharp, and I need to be able to sharpen it. And this one here, I've had it for 25 years. I don't see any reason it's not going to last another 25. And it has gotten used, I promise you. So that's the difference. Prepping, simple living. It's focus on things or lack of, basically. And for simple living, okay, simple living, there's quality versus quantity. And in prepping seems to be just the opposite for a lot of people. It's quantity versus quality. All right, if you've got one really good knife that's going to last you, you don't need 15. And I know everybody that's into prepping's not, thinking they need 100 knives laying around just in case, but some are. Again, we all have our different versions of each. All right, but that's the one thing I keep noticing with preppers is the emphasis on things. Okay. Simple living, like I mentioned, minimalism. There also tends to be a spiritual aspect to simple living for a lot of people. And if you go back to early Christians, that they believed highly in being humble, living a simple life. And if you're a Christian, you follow Jesus, Jesus led a simple life. There's a verse in the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing here and I'm going to butcher it, but just so y'all understand what it's saying. Jesus said that, God cares for all, provides for all the animals in the fields, all the birds. All right. He loves you more than the animals, so you don't think he's going to provide for you? All right, so that's simple living. The spiritual aspect of it anyway, trusting in God. If you get into Buddhism, again, emphasis on being humble, living simple. The lack of material things. Okay, and we can do just fine with very few material possessions. Now that doesn't mean I want to go into, a post-apocalyptic world, not have, a few things on hand. But simple living's more about the here and now, improving your quality of life now. Yeah, I might need another knife one day in the future. Okay, but right now it's in my way and it's clutter and I need to get rid of it. That's the difference between the two. And I'm not faulting anybody for prepping. If there was ever a year the preppers could say, hey, I told you so, that would be this year. Okay, and again, there's a lot of overlap between prepping and simple living. Okay, both tend to place a great deal of emphasis on being self-sufficient. Okay, that's a big part of simple living. Growing a garden, hunting, fishing. That's also important for a lot of preppers. So, there's overlap there. It's just the emphasis on things. To me, that's the big difference. With that said, I do believe there's things I need to be doing right now to prepare for this coming winter. And it's not about things for me. I'm working on the ammo that I've talked about in the last few videos. I started my load testing, so I'll finish that up hopefully this week and show y'all how that turned out. I want some ammo put back for this year, just in case. So I can go shoot and do what I want to do, shoot when I want to shoot. Well, having seen ammo shortages before, I know the price is fixing to go up on ammo. So I want to have some ammo put back so that when I want to go shoot to the range, target practice, and so forth, I'm not paying crazy prices for ammo. So that's why I want to put back some now. I'm not worried about not being able to get it in the future. I'm worried about it just costing too much. And with that said, I'm not going to say preppers are paranoid. I'll be honest, if I had unlimited resources, I would have a bunker somewhere fully stocked for any post-apocalyptic scenario you could think of. But I don't. So therefore, I need to focus on quality of life here and now, and that's what simple living's about. It's about improving your quality of life right now. Okay, so I want to focus on that. I do want to save money where I can. And that's why the things I plan on focusing on for this winter, as far as preparing for this winter, I already mentioned ammo. Well, anything where inflation could be a problem, because I think it's pretty realistic to expect some inflation this year. How much? Who knows? And it could be a lot. Federal government's printing money going and coming. That creates inflation, which means things are going to cost more. Okay, so if I can buy something now and, that'll just save me money later on. Good example, I want to put some storm windows on my house. Now, I'm in the South. We don't have the brutal winters a lot of you have, but it still gets pretty chilly here. We might get some snow, we might not, but we do have a winter. Well, I've got to heat my house this winter. If inflation kicks in, again, it probably will. I don't know that, but it probably will. Anything I can do right now to help insulate my house so I'm not using as much energy, that's going to help me out this winter. That's going to help me out no matter what happens. All right, even if we don't have any inflationary issues, it's still going to save me money in the long term. It's just, I'm thinking it has the potential to save me a lot of money with the way things are going. If energy prices really get high, and those of us that were around in 2008, you remember what the energy prices were then. Was it almost $5 a gallon for gas? All right, so I want to be ready for any inflationary issues. Ammo. Right now, there's a shortage of ammo. Just the shortage is going to drive prices. And the shortage comes from, all right, there's an increased demand because there's a lot of people buying firearms right now and they want some ammo to feed them. And there's a lot of reasons, driving that as far as new gun purchases and so forth. All right, so there's the demand side. The demand's really increased. Well, then there's the supply side. The factories aren't running at 100%. There's, material shortages and so many things related to COVID and the shutdowns. So you've got increased demand, you've got decreased supply, and any day now we're probably going to start seeing inflation creeping in on pretty much everything. You put all that together, ammo could get really high this coming winter. So I want to stock up now. I want to insulate my house as well as possible. And I need to do that anyway. But for me, it's more of a priority right now, given that, energy costs could be really high this winter. I need to go ahead and get some tires on one of my vehicles. And I needed tires anyway. It's time for tires. I'm not going out and buying tires just to have tires on hand. But if inflation kicks in, the price of everything's going to get higher. Tires are no exception. So any repairs that you've been putting off on your vehicle, this might be a good time to do it. Not to mention the supply issues with parts and so forth. This might be a good time to go ahead and take care of that. And, not put it off for 6 months. And that's kind of what I've been doing around here the last couple of days, outside of working on my load testing when I can. It's just thinking, okay, what do I need to do right now to help me save some money later on? So I just wanted to throw that out there for y'all, just to give y'all something to think about. And hey, if you come up with something that, a lot of us need to be thinking about doing right now, before inflation kicks in and so forth, comment below. I'm looking for ideas myself. So hopefully this will give y'all something to think about. And if you're thinking about prepping, just keep in mind quality versus quantity. Ammo, I'm doing my load testing right now, and I said this previous video. I'm doing the load testing to find the load that shoots best in my rifle, because I want to be able to hit what I'm shooting at, and I want the best accuracy I can get. So why not take the time right now to go ahead and do load testing, find a good load for my rifle, instead of just buying whatever I can get. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but if you're buying just whatever you can get as far as ammunition, you don't know how it's going to shoot. Your point of impact is going to change. And I understand with the ammo shortage pretty much here now, a lot of you are just buying what you can get. But that's getting back into that simple living versus prepping. Don't buy stuff out of a place of fear. Don't do anything out of a place of fear, because we tend to not make very good decisions when we're doing that. Okay, just because you got some, ammo in, and it's something you've never shot and it's a completely different grain weight bullet than what you normally shoot, don't just go buy it because it's there. Unless you're just really worried and you live in a really bad area and there's a lot going on right now and you might need some ammo, okay, I get it. But for most of us, be patient. So get some more ammo in later. You're gonna have to be patient as far as ammo. But get something you can use, get something that's gonna shoot accurately. And that's why I'm load testing. Then I'll load up a lot of bullets to have on hand for target shooting, whatever. But I don't want a lot of different types of bullets. And it's getting back into the minimalism thing. I'm not where I want to be on minimalism, but I'm working to get there. All right, I want to get to the point of, I've got a pretty good quantity of bullets for Rifle A, and that's about all I shoot in Rifle A. And I bought those when they were on sale. I didn't just go, panic buying. I picked the best bullet, for that rifle I could get for that application, and then over time, if I saw some on sale, I'd pick some up. That type thing. Well, anyway, I hope this is giving y'all something to think about as far as getting ready for winter, because it's going to be here before we know it. And I'm worried inflation will be too, which, it's almost a certainty. I don't think it's going to be hyperinflation or anything like that, but it's still going to be inflation, and it's going to take us a while to pay for all the money the government's spending right now. And the way we're going to pay for it is inflation. It's a hidden tax, but maybe we'll talk about that more later. Anyway, hope this helps, and God bless, and have a good day.